Welcome to the Dungeon House, where a bunch of regular people with regular jobs gather to play Dungeons and Dragons. We aren't professionals, so if you hear food ASMR or a baby in the back, just understand it's normal. This show is recommended for those 13 and up. The music you'll hear is brought to you by William Heaton and various other artists. We're glad that you're here to share in the fun and laughter, as well as the challenges along the way. So come on into our home, take a seat on the couch, and enjoy the Dungeon House.
Read and or write when when this happened, right? And he's like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah."
He was 14.
He was, "Yeah."
Well,
Like,
okay, but wasn't 14 at the time when the
no, yeah, not when
transcription
he
of the
was
Book of
young.
Mormon. It was a little bit older.
But so we started going into this huge thing, and it was like, it was. So we got to the point where I was like, "So what happens to all of the people who don't get to know Jesus Christ?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there are billions upon billions upon billions of people before Christ was born, and even after Christ was born, who never received or had the opportunity to get to know Jesus Christ. And he was like, they don't exist.
What?
Yeah!
Wait.
Yeah.
Can you say
Wait,
that again?
he's saying that. Oh, go ahead.
Just so you know, we are live now, so just.
That's fine. We can talk religion. Nobody cares.
Right. I'm just talking about just be careful if you're naming anyone.
Oh, no, I'm not.
What happened to people? Like, what did he think? Does he think that everyone had that opportunity?
No. What he said and what he told me is he was like, if they don't receive the opportunity, they return to dust.
Oh, because that's scripture.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
And so I was like, dude, okay.
Soul? Is that what he's saying?
No, not that they had a soul, but he said that Jesus, like he said in the beginning, like basically he was like, God created man from dust, right? God created man with a thought. And so he was like, can God not uncreate his things? And I was like, that's besides the point. I was like, you told me that you think God is just and fair, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so if God is just and fair, shouldn't everybody have the opportunity to actually get to know him? Well,
And choose to follow Christ.
yeah. And so we got into this huge thing, and he was just like, no, they just returned it, like they just don't exist. They just stop existing.
Interesting.
What the heck? That's completely wrong.
That's
ridiculous.
So his
There is
core
a
belief.
belief in Christianity
Oh, sorry.
where before we were creative, God selected who and who wouldn't be basically exalted because they would and wouldn't hear about Christ.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of a sad belief, because if God is just and fair, then why would he put people on the earth to suffer? Because we have happy times in this life, but mostly it's hard, And
Yeah.
that would not be a very kind God.
Well, yeah, and that was my whole thing with him, where I was like, I told him, I was like, you sound like you're contradicting yourself, because you're saying God is, or I guess Jesus is somebody who loves all. Jesus is somebody who cares. Jesus came and, taught the Jews, and then had his disciples go out and preach to the Gentiles and convert the Gentiles. I was like, so does that just mean that, it ends there? And then we got into the topic of if there was a true church. If there's a true church, it's only one of like 2 or 3. I can't remember. Either it is it's the Catholic Church,
Oh yeah, I've heard this.
because they are the longest standing Christian religion, the original Christian religion, or
Multiple variants.
there requires a restoration. There requires a bringing back of Christ Future. Anyway, so we got into all that kind of stuff, and it was interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
so-
reminds me of I was listening to Follow Him, and they were talking about the current sections we are for Come Follow Me. And it was explaining how it's where is it? John, the book of John. We're in the book of John. And it's explaining how the Greeks started to believe that the body was insufficient and just gross and it's just terrible, get rid of the body
Mm-hmm.
part. And so they started to believe that, oh, since the body is so earthly and just not good, Christ must not have had a body.
Mm-hmm.
He must not have had that. And it's like, wait, what? And John comes in, he's like, I was there. Hold on. No, you can't erase what the Savior did and how he did it. No. So it's just really interesting how even in ancient times, even when the apostles were still there, they were still like, no, I think this. And like, no, that's not
Yeah.
true. That's
So,
not
I don't
no.
know.
That's not how it is. That's just not how it is.
It was just interesting to me. Anyway, so yeah.
Hold on.
Chase, did you just say?
Well, it sounds like you. Oh, yeah.
No,
No,
you.
no, you. No,
No,
girl,
you.
you. No, you.
For those who are listening, I bear witness that Christ lives, and we invite you to learn for yourselves that that is the point that we are on this earth. You do whatever you want, but I encourage you to learn. Don't just take my word for it because I'm just one voice, but go and learn for yourselves and even reach out to missionaries as they are servants of the Lord as the Lord has called his apostles to serve. So go and learn for yourselves and learn of who Christ is and do it. Name Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen, bro.
Anyways, thank you for the discussion, everybody, and that was very fun. But we do have to play D&D at some point tonight, if we want to. We don't have to, but if we want to.
Okay.
What was that? Say that again, Joy. I think your audio is connected to your headphone mic. It's funny how we just know already. Mike, Kyle, you're not muted. I mean, actually, can you unmute yourself? That's really what I want to say.
Nice.
So, guys, it's another week. We're here again. It's been a while because we had Thanksgiving last week on Thursday, and now we're back on another one. It's getting close to the end of the semester for us that's still in college. Means that, it's getting busy. Kind of those holiday times. So hopefully we can have a little bit of fun playing some D&D. Just wanted to let everyone here know I'm planning on not preparing a session for next week and the following Thursday because that Saturday should be our big in-person Christmas party.
So are we not playing next week then?
So we're not playing next week, and we're not playing the week after that. Next week,
Or-
McKay and I have a prior engagement that we need to fulfill.
Yeah, and I will be on a plane going to my sister's wedding, so I cannot attend.
You can come to
That means I can go to the witch's Christmas party.
Yeah.
The what?
The
witch-
witch's
I don't-
Christmas-
Did I tell you guys? So since I thought Evermore was closed, my sisters introduced me to Witches Night Out at Gardner Village.
Ooh.
Anyways, where they have paid actresses as witches in the park interacting with people. And I was like, that's the next best thing. And so I auditioned and I got a part. And so yes,
That is so fun.
for next year.
Nice.
But they give us a whole year because we have to make our own costumes and they have to be way over the top. So
That's super
I
fun.
get to go to
That's
their Christmas party.
That's super awesome.
That was so sick. Dude, you're like so cool.
Thanks.
I
think
mean, like,
I'm
I already
cool.
knew that you were cool, but it's like you're just like exceedingly amount of cool. You're like dripping all these cool experiences,
You're
and
dripping.
you're dripping cool. You're dripping. I don't know what that is, Sam.
The cool kids these days.
Is that cool?
They say it in trolls, so it's gotta be. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the Riz. I don't know. My littlest
The
brother
Riz.
calls that. He keeps saying Riz. But we
It
should
means
shut up.
Riz means charisma. It's short.
Oh
for
yeah.
charisma.
We
It's,
got the Riz.
yeah, it's
I actually never knew that. I've heard Riz before. So
We can see that, but it's kind of.
it's interesting once you get to the point where you're like not in high school, and so you don't hear those
The
things,
jargon.
and so it's just you don't know the jargon anymore.
It just started to hit you, especially when you were on your mission, because then new missionaries would come and they're like,
um,
yeah. I'm like,
Or when they start doing the lip or the like the whoa
The new
and stuff like that.
TikTok thing.
we're dating.
at lunch we should talk about our
No.
plans for or break. At break we should talk about our plans for Saturday.
This
That's
Saturday?
Not this Saturday.
Next Saturday?
No,
2 weeks
no.
Saturday.
2 weeks
Next
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah,
Are
so
we
not
in house?
this Saturday, not the
Okay.
next
I think we're
Saturday,
here.
but the Saturday after that.
Because I got if we're record. Well, I mean, depends on. We'll talk.
Wait, wait.
We'll chat.
We'll talk about.
Let's play D&D.
Okay.
Last time on the Dungeon
I don't
House.
I put a recap in you.
I didn't read it. I haven't read it.
Face members.
Where did it start again?
Sorry, as you guys were going down into the underground.
I just wasn't there for most of it, so
You're right.
so
I can't blame you.
So
too
then
much.
we went up and started fighting, right? No, we already did
no,
that.
'cause I have to go to that competition.
You said you knew what was going on. If you want me to, I can do the recap.
No. It's my turn. But I kind of remember. I remember the ending, but I'm trying to remember the beginning.
Here's the recap.
Yeah, you guys went down into the basement
Investigate it.
investigating, and then, like right as soon as you got down there, you kind of found Vance.
Yeah. So, last time on the Dungeon House, we went down the spooky stairs after, Alia had been resurrected, and she got cool drip upgrade.
She
Yes.
had the Riz.
She
Yeah.
had the Riz.
Yes. And then,
I'm only gonna say that because it bothers McKay now.
Okay, wait.
What?
Wait, so charisma is an actual like thing in D&D.
yes.
And
You should-
she's a sorcerer, so she
So she-
has
The
the Riz.
She got the Riz. Oh, yes. Okay.
Please let no Gen Z listen to them.
Okay, continuing. We found Vance and we're like, sus. Because he hadn't dropped the act yet. Because I, Opal, sussed him. I'm like, you are sus. And I went to chop off his hands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, psych. And
It's all coming back.
yeah, and then he was a jerk, and I'm trying to remember the order of things, but I remember events where Opal was hallucinating because of freaking man Vance as the roof is falling. It's burning. Oh, okay. Opal being Opal goes to save my friends. And yet my friends are standing right there being like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, get no. So that was terrible. What else? Yeah, big fight, boom, crash.
Why you light him on fire?
Oh yes, Alia got intense. First Pinky got intense and brought out the knife and put it right to his throat and was like, "Tough boy." And then Alia was like, "I'm done with your crap. Here's some oil and a lighter." And we're like, I was like, that's a little intense, but then he made his smirk, which Chase is good at, and I don't like it. So then he caught on fire, but he's terrible and got away. Whatever. And then we found Chestnut, which is a wood thing. Oh, nerd, what's the
She's a nerd.
what's the name?
She's a dryad.
A dryad.
Interchangeable, of course.
Yeah.
She's
You know,
a
if you live in the woods, you're just a tree nerd. All a hippie is someone that's just into trees really too much.
Chestnut the dryad. We found her, and she, we were able to communicate with her and understand connect the dots as, oh, this makes sense why the other dryads are, being terrible and had us do a whole little side gig. So we helped her. Opal was being so valiant and stripping in front of everyone to take off her armor so she could carry the dryad Chestnut. And then freaking Ren came and took my thunder and carried her up. And then I was the one who got possessed again, charmed, whatever, raised up. And
That's, we are not using Riz in the correct terminology whatsoever.
And then Opal saved the day by saying, no, we aren't the bad guys. He's your child. And then we figured out Mr. Vince sucked even more because he's like, oh, haha, you catch me. I'm going to set everything on fire now. So we did. And then he was run, getting away. And all of us are like kicking the dirt. Shoot, what do we do now? But Opal had the clever idea to have root people, the dryads, track the tunnel that we know that is there. But they're like, no, we too weak. We need a stronger dryad. And so we're going to go find a stronger dryad and then track Mr. Vance and other terrible people. Till next time. Dungeon House.
Not till next time, right now.
Right now.
And then
Just end session.
ends right there. All right, guys.
No, some stuff, but those are the key things.
That
We
was a good
spend
session.
the rest of the time talking about how big of nerds dryads are.
Oh my God. All right. With that in play, does anyone remember what Chestnut's mom's name was?
No.
It was something to do.
Is
It was another
was
tree
it
or
walnut?
something. I think it was acorn.
Acorn.
Is acorn, wasn't it?
I think it was acorn. I'm pretty sure it was acorn. Or
We're just I couldn't remember when I was doing the recap. I was like, what is her
Peanut.
name?
No, it's
No,
acorn.
I
I'm
think
pretty sure it's acorn.
anyways, we're
After-
redacting anything that we said prior episode. I'm not good enough to actually listen to what's going on.
I know.
We're going to change it to Acorn. So that way you guys know. Is officially Acorn.
Acorn.
For this session, who
For
knows
this
what
session.
will happen?
Next session, it might change. You know, they're fake creatures. It's a little fluid with names.
Nerds.
Fake creatures are now nerds.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make Pinky
Pinky's a nerd.
Ah! Well, this got off.
Oh.
It's a hip way of saying you're very intelligent
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds
in
like
a
something a
particular
boy would say.
subject.
I need to turn you up, Kyle. You're a little quiet for me. I didn't quite hear your.
Oh, sorry.
He's away from the mic and just watching the chaos.
All right. So,
Wait, actually, can I point out real quick how funny it is that we're talking about guys being nerds as we're like sitting around a table podcasting ourselves playing D&D?
that's a good point.
I would like to retract everything I said about nerds. Nerds are awesome.
I was gonna say it was funny that we were talking about religion and D&D used to be identified as
Satanic.
Satan. Yeah.
Don't tell me.
Not anymore. I think.
I'm so sorry, I interrupted you, Chase. I
Oh, you guys are good. No
It's been a
problem.
while. It's been a while.
Catching up.
All right.
Literally, I don't have anything prepared, so we'll see how this goes.
Put him up, right?
Anyways,
He, you'll hear him in probably about another.
with that, just to kind of set the scene as we're starting up, you are all making your way away from that manor. It's pretty on fire. It's pretty big. If you've ever seen a burning house, that's what it looks like.
Scary.
So like, you know how like in a building, since it's very aerated on the inside, you actually can see like the fire swirling inside, kind of almost vortex. You can see the timbers groaning and starting to collapse down from being weakened. And they weren't in, the best of shape already. the trees and everything around you are kind of like sprayed in a cacophony of shadows and light, and it's kind of in somewhat disorienting picture as you're starting to be led out of the general vicinity. Other than the fire roaring behind you, you see around you, it's quite a peaceful night. There's not really much else to note besides maybe the slight chill in the breeze. The first, the condensation in the air is kind of starting to get palpable, and you can feel that humidity mixed with that a little bit colder air kind of bite a little bit on your skin. The smell of charred smoke mixed with fresh leaves and almost kind of like the pine needle smell. You're not sure if that's actually from the forest or if it's from the dryads. They wear perfume, okay?
They just smell nice.
They just smell nice. You know, they smell like the woods, but not like stinky woods, like good woods. That's kind of where we're at right now. What would everyone like to do as you're being led through the woods?
Nothing.
Yeah, I guess I'm not.
Gonna sit down and do nothing.
Well, I think we may have a conversation with the dragons. Does anybody else want to do something?
Adelaide will listen in on your conversation with the dragon.
Do you know the language?
Moss will
Oh,
listen
no.
in.
No, she will not listen in. Adelaide doesn't know what's going on, so I guess she'll just.
It's like, oh, I guess we're following.
Participate in the conversation.
Wait, can anyone listen in except for Opal?
Well,
Pinky can speak the language.
Do you know,
Speak Sylvan.
yeah, do you speak Sylvan?
No.
Then no.
Moss will stare intently at the conversation like he knows what's going on but doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being a druid, you can catch hints and pieces of it from your druidic. Though you know, druidic's more. I don't know. I always imagined druidic as a language to be more feral than like Sylvan, even though it's still very much connected to that kind of primordial old magic kind of style that I feel like Sylvan and Elven kind of have ties to. I think it's like the mix of, it's similar to like, you know, like gnomish and goblinish, like they're fairly similar, but one's like kind of harder, harsher tones. That's how I think of like druidic if you're to speak it.
Is it?
You just compare like this fake language and this pretend fantasy language is kind of like this other fantasy language and this other fantasy language.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I think I do, and that's what's so awesome about the power of the
Friendship.
imagination. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's like goblin versus gnomish.
Yeah.
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 So I imagine you get bits and pieces of it, but it's like it's a little difficult to understand. As you approach, which drive would you like to go to? That you have a cacophony of about 8, 9, or 10 that you can see around you.
I think my thought process is like, I want to talk to Acorn, but she's also gone through a lot of trauma and just got reunited with her daughter, so maybe not.
So you see right now as you're walking, Acorn has actually kind of grown, it's kind of interesting. Imagine 2 trees, and if you look at them, you're like, I can see how that looks like a mother holding a child. As you're walking, it kind of has almost that look as the branches wrapping around them. and stuff like that has that similar look. And then as you focus in, you can actually see their distinct bodies. Like you can see them, but as you have, it's almost like an after image of two trees.
Yeah.
Or like a tree bound together. Something like that.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Okay. I'll just talk to her then, but you know, it's not cautious, but a type of word where you're like, I understand you've been just gonna tread lightly, but not in a I'm in trouble way, but in a respectful way. That way. Whatever that word is. But so Acorn, how long has this friend, did you mention his name?
I did not.
Or their name, sorry. What's their name?
Their name. And she says it, and it sounds prettier than this, but it translates to basically the word of it is Shriek Talan, which means basically snow blanket.
Cute.
Okay, so snow blanket?
Yes.
Can I say that, or do you want me to say it in the?
No, you can say snow blanket. That's what sounds like in Sylvan, but it's snow blanket in Sylvan. That's what it translates to.
Okay, I just wanted to ask because what translation or the way it's actually said.
Well,
Apology.
we're talking right now in Sylvan. That's also the magic of D&D.
Okay. Imagination. All right. Snow blanket. How long has snow blanket been in these parts?
That's a good question.
Roll a D100.
No. He was one of the first of his kind in this area. Not too many of them are left. So he's lived many more moons than any of us here. She gestures to the other dryads.
How long have these? I'm sorry to interrupt. You continue.
He's a distant cousin of ours, but not truly family.
Oh. Wait. I won't dig into family ties. How long have y'all been here?
We originated from the Rovine Forest, but due to as the woods themselves spread, so do we. And our family found our way to this area.
Pinky's going to butt in at this point, and she's going to say, I'm from the Rovine.
Oh, are you originally from this area? I've seen your kind before, close by.
You'll have to remind me where we are.
We're like on the other side of the Rovine. It's like
Okay.
probably 1,000 miles away from where you're from.
I didn't think we were close. I just had to double check. No, not from this part. I'm from the other side. I don't know.
Well, then you must be quite a distance away.
I am.
Every once in a while, we receive winds from that area, but not too often. It takes a strong gust to blow winds that far.
Mm-hmm. Pinky doesn't really know what that means, so she's just agreeing.
Sure, whatever that means. Sounds about right, I guess. I must warn you all. Quick question for the group. Does anyone have a torch? And they're using it?
not being used right now.
I have my magic.
Your
one,
magical torch.
Unless that was taken. It was.
I have a little glowy stone.
If it's very dark, I probably would have used my light cantrip, but I
Not
haven't already said that I've done that, so.
She'll just turn towards you. I ask that you not use any torches nor any fire of any kind when we are in the presence of Snow Blanket. Half of you don't understand this, but half of you do, and I'm assuming that you're going to translate for the others.
Yeah, Pinky's gonna like turn to the rest of them like, "Hey, yo, guys, we don't want to use any fire around this old guy."
Oh, that's what she meant. I thought it was like, just don't fire at him. But okay, that makes sense.
I don't like him on fire. Oh.
Like, I was ready to like throw that fire in his face. That's what I thought she said. Ugh.
Burn him alive.
You know, it's a slight translation error. It changes everything.
Yeah, instead of a W, it's a V. It's really confusing.
Exactly.
She just warns you. He will not take kindly if you do. With that, she'll kind of nod to you and kind of almost go back to walking like she's a little bit done with the conversation.
Okay, if she's done, I'm done.
Anything else that you guys want to do during this little...
I'm certain that Pinky will comment on the most pretty-looking dryad. Do any of them like have pink flowers or any of them blooming?
It's like a cherry tree. In bloom.
That's what
I'd imagine that like it's like a younger dryad, not old, and so going through the bloom, I guess, whatever that means. Anyways,
she'll just let her know how pretty it is because Pinky loves, she loves nature. She grew up around it.
She'll say,
I'm sure she's met several dryads herself. So
yeah,
in the road line.
The dryads, they weren't uncommon from where you were originally from. Fairies and dryads don't have any like beef,
right?
Because all good woodland creatures. You know that. Actually, make a history check for me, Pinky, and I'll give you some information.
Okay. Oh. Okay. That's an 8.
You remember they're like tree people.
She's seen them before. They're really nice, pretty people. Maybe they're not nice, but they're pretty.
Yeah, they keep to themselves. They're known for their beauty, but they don't necessarily love interacting with other races. Not necessarily because like they hate other races, but sorry, I'm chewing.
It's all good.
It's like they're very wary of other races.
Yeah, they're just solitary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say you also know them to not necessarily be good. They're more neutral.
Right.
Yeah.
But
which is not uncommon for Fae.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, as you guys are walking, you find yourselves heading kind of parallel to the forest for a while. I would like somebody to do if anyone is paying attention, to kind of tracking where you're going. I'd like you to do a survival check if you want to. If you guys don't want to, you don't have to.
I'll do it. Let's see. I have rolled a. Oh my gosh.
Sure.
What? Where did all my? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
For now.
11.
An 11. It's kind of hard to tell, but from what you can tell, you've been following a little bit of the tree line. It doesn't seem like they're trying to really confuse you with where they're like you're going. Though, as you kind of think about it, it does seem like you're kind of heading generally in the same direction as where you originally came from. The other dukes, like where
Manor.
yeah, not the manor itself, like the one that you were exploring. When you met Sir Fireborn, I'm blanking on the town's name right now. So how prepared I am. Heading more in that direction, back kind of towards where you originally came from.
So,
But almost like you're kind of seemingly they're just staying away from what looks to be other people. Like instead of going out into the fields where like houses would be, they're not following the.
which makes sense as they look like trees.
This is just a question. Does it seem like they're kind of like guarding us in a sense, like as if we're captives in any means, or no? Like, is it pretty just.
Make an insight check.
That's gonna be it. Unnatural 20.
A natural 20. From what you can tell, you are surrounded by them. Like, there's about 10 of them walking with you, and every once in a while you catch a glimpse of one maybe walk like in the tree a little bit farther away and stuff like that. Most of the ones that are right next to you are more surrounding Acorn and Chestnut. Seemingly, though, from what you can tell with a unnatural 20, they don't trust you guys. And they are trying to kind of protect their own and also keep an eye on you. It's not like they're trying to detain you. They just don't want you to. They're keeping a very close eye on you. Sorry. Eventually, you get to a point where the woods kind of turn out, like think of like a peninsula, but of forests as it meets the sea of grain that are the fields. At this point, it's fairly dark outside, and you look around and you can see beautiful stars up above. The moon itself at this time is in that waxing gibbous. It's almost getting to its fullest brightness that it will for the year. You know, that's a big celebration. It's the Aron festival, when the moon and the sun are rejoined together, and it's for you, Adelaide. It's quite a large deal, especially for your sect, your belief system, as it's the time of year when Yalfav returns to the home of the gods for one day of rest, and then he heads back out on his ever vigilant watch of the nighttime. At this point where you get to this peninsula of the trees, Acorn will say, "We must venture forth into the land inhabited by your kind, humans and elves and what have you. It shouldn't take too long." As you start walking out, you go for about 30-20 more minutes, just over rolling hills. Eventually, you make it to a location that's quite similar to where you've been prior. As you kind of press up and around a hill, you see in the distance what looks to be a giant cottonwood tree, one that I described previously on your venture towards the manor. As you get to the top of this hill, looking out and seeing this tree kind of sitting in a little bit of a valley, you see what looks to be a stream running fairly close. The tree looks massive. It is the largest tree of anything in this area, and it looks like it's been left there, but farmland has been grown and planted all around it. As Acorn stops you, all those who can understand, she'll point out to the tree and says, towards that area, and says, that is where he lives. Sad to see it changed so much from what it once was. I would be cautious. You may not take too kind to humanoid visitors.
Understood. Thank you for the warning.
But if anyone knows this area as much, if anyone knows this area as deeply, he will be the one. She uses a word that could either be used for roots or past. They're kind of interchangeably used in Sylvan. It says his roots past is deeper than anyone else's.
I'll just relay that information. Tell everybody what Acorn said.
With that, Pinky is going to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Acorn will turn to you all and say, it's not our joy to be out here among the fields of your kind. We prefer to be underneath the canopy of the trees. But tonight I'm willing to make an exception. But you have to promise me one thing. We will travel with you to Snow Blanket. Maybe we can help persuade him for your cause. But you have to promise us that when you find these people, you kill every last one of them.
Oh.
Pinky translating this to everyone else.
What did Pinky say?
Pinky is just translating for everybody else.
Oh, okay. We will bring them to justice.
Does that mean killing them?
It'll be the justice that they deserve, and if it so be their death, then it shall be.
Well, I understand where you're coming from. This is what she would say. She says, I do not see what the problem is. Don't you believe in if something is causing you harm, you would kill it, get rid of it, so that may cause no more?
They kind of have information on other kids that were stolen from us, and we kind of have to keep them alive so we can figure out where the other people are that we need to save.
You know magic. Magic allows you to communicate a bit. I've heard of these spells. Why not just gain the information once they're dead?
I have that kind of magic. Can that be done? I don't know if Vicky's ever heard of that.
I think we're all on the same page that the people who done this, the people who have greatly done wrong to both of us need to be punished. And we need to adequately ensure that their punishment is administered in the way that is evaluated. So, kind of like a judgment. Based on our interactions with them that you didn't see in the home, I'm pretty frustrated with them as well. And I agree that they need to have a severe punishment. If, however, we're in association with a greater operational function with our guild, and they need to be part of that judgment process of what's going to take place. So, if that makes sense, it's like how we're going to go see Winter Blanket.
Snow Blanket.
Snow Blanket. It's like how we're going to go see Snow Blanket to receive further information before we proceed, in order to do so effectively and to, yeah.
I'm confused though. You're not going to Snow Blanket to get more information. You're going to Snow Blanket to receive his help. And judgment's already been passed. The judgment is they should die for their crimes.
But you made that judgment, right? Or did everybody make that judgment? I don't know. Did you already make that judgment?
She's like, we're all in agreement.
Okay.
And she like, all the druids are like, yeah, they're supposed to die.
Okay, now I understand. Got it. Yeah.
I do not understand your ways of why you would want to protect someone who's harmed you so.
I wouldn't say it's not necessarily protecting. I still want them to be punished because what they did was wrong. Completely and entirely. For both of us. So, we need to proceed with caution, as if we were to lose information that could cause a greater impact on both you and I, that would not be good.
And I do not mean that you must not receive whatever information you deem necessary. Even that means that they must live for a time. But before you leave those woods, shouldn't they have that judgment put upon them? Wouldn't it be, you say, unjust if you were to extend that punishment just as much as they extended and lengthened the punishment of my daughter? I thought it was being merciful to just kill them. But this offer still stands. If you would like our assistance, we may help. But we have our terms. And once we've set down our route, we're not liable to move.
That makes sense. So it's obvious that you have convened with everyone. I have not. So let us convene separately and then reconvene.
As you wish.
Okay. Guys, we have a situation. Relay information. That's what's up.
Say what's up. We can roleplay it out.
Nah. Okay. So, we are good to proceed to Snow Blanket, the dryad who would help us find more of where these people went, Vance and others. However, they have placed a condition, as when we find them, they have asked us to kill them.
Oh,
Alright.
Not good.
well,
I mean,
I don't know if I can agree to that.
Yeah, I explained it very poorly with trying to explain like a court system, a judgment system, and Pinky helped with explaining another valid point that we need more information on what's going on in missing children, what she's looking for. So, but they said, no, it'd be merciful to kill them. Well, so
Well, I'm not an assassin. I do not believe that that is something that I will take part in. And Adelaide's gonna kind of look at like Moss, Barren, Alia, like, what are your thoughts?
I say kill him.
What?
Like this is Vance we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
What's he kidnapped the dryad? He pretty much put us in an awkward situation. Like, I have no problem with getting rid of him.
I guess my question.
Information that we need. That I
After
need.
we get the information that we need.
My question is this: would we have hesitated to kill him in the manor if
You?
there was no information to be gained?
You did light him on fire.
I attempted to light him on fire, yes. He did get out of my reach beforehand. But I guess that's my point is if there was no information to be gained, would we kill him? Would we hesitate?
Yes, I would. But I suppose that going after a group with the intention to end lives does not reflect my personal beliefs.
I mean, we do the same things with monsters. The way that I look at this is we may find them and we may get the information we want. What's to stop them from hurting somebody else again?
Acorn,
I've really
yeah.
been told this, made it clear. Do the Vigils take prisoners?
Yes. Well, we've taken a prisoner before, right?
Have you?
Didn't we send someone back with the dudes who were in the tunnels? No?
No. We've never taken prisoner.
Make a history
But-
check, Alia. You'd be the only one that would know of a prisoners being taken.
That's actually sort of funny. We're all sitting there. Do we take prisoners?
Dude, is this something that happens? 23.
23. That's a high roll.
I got a 19.
Ooh, I almost kind of want to do this in the other video, but I don't want to make everyone have to move, so it's fine. We won't do that.
I'd be willing to move.
No, what? How about maybe David and I jump into away from the table, and I'll talk to him. Sorry, everyone that's in person. You're gonna have to move out for a second.
Okay.
That's all right.
What if
Yeah.
we aren't listening?
Yeah, what if we just...
It doesn't work. I could move, but it just means I'm not to unplug everything.
Yeah, you have to unplug it.
Alright.
You can call me Chase.
Sure. I'll just step out for a
That
second.
works.
That works.
But then the
Yeah,
then the
No, I don't want the audience to, like, it doesn't matter if the audience doesn't know. It's just like if I were to go up to him in the table and whisper in his ear or something. So
okay. Hi, Brandon.
we'll just update Brandon.
Yeah.
So what's the skinny?
Basically, we're debating about if we're gonna go kill some people or not.
Cool, I'm all for it.
The Dryad have
There we
offered
go.
us help they brought us to the dude who's going to give us more information, who's going to help us find where the bad guys went. But to have the Dryads further help, they have a condition in which we have to kill everybody when we find them. So we're debating right now. And the question was raised by Pinky, does the Vigil take prisoners?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, do the Vigils have like a Like the Vigil Oath, where it's like
We have
"You shall
taken
harm
one
no
prisoner.
Who?
Donnie.
Yeah. We. Oh my gosh, I forgot. We have taken a prisoner.
We have, well, yeah.
Or a pet. We've taken a pet. A friend.
Donnie's
Pet is
fucking-
Jar. He's kind of a prisoner. You
Who was
feed
Donnie?
him, but you don't let him out.
Wait, Kyle, you don't know who Donnie is?
Yeah, remind me who Donnie
Everyone
is.
but Barren knows who Donnie is. You should know
Wait,
who Donnie is.
Kyle, topic.
Say it again,
Donnie,
Kyle.
Donnie's our black slime.
Oh, that's okay. Yes, we know Donnie, but Donnie's not a prisoner. Donnie's a pet.
Right, we keep him in a jar.
Yeah, get that
Teapot
goldfish
now,
in a
isn't it?
jar.
He's a prisoner by choice.
Yeah.
Is it though?
Is that any
I
better?
don't- okay, prisoner by choice is a stretch. He's a pet.
Maybe.
But he has higher sentience than what most people would classify as a pet having.
Does he though? Because
Yeah,
I
don't
don't know.
insult
Donnie
people.
compared to a dolphin, like.
Yeah, but we don't cage dolphins. Well, I guess.
Yeah, have you heard of a zoo?
Well,
We
yeah,
don't keep dolphins as pets. That's what you're saying.
yeah.
Dolphin
But
is a
does Donnie have more intellect than like a dog? A smart
Like
I-
he's
German Shepherd
I
Lab
mean,
mix?
he found the gold coin.
I think
He
that was
does.
just out of
He-
necessity.
Well, that
Ham.
instinct. He eats that.
A
So
dog. can
is
find
he
a
like a
gold coin.
raccoon then?
We don't really. Most
More
people
like a
don't.
raccoon than a.
Well, what about a monkey? Like people have monkeys as pets. They're pretty smart.
There you go.
Rarely though. Monkey is not a common pet.
Well, neither
I-
is the
A
raccoon.
high-end pet, and so is Donnie.
The fact that I have met someone that has a monkey as a pet means they're common enough for me.
Oh, it's all up.
There we go. Here we are debating the
Oh, okay.
status
Oh,
of
How's
Donnie.
Brandon doing?
I'm great.
Good. I like your jacket. Oh no, it's a blanket. My
It's just a
bad.
blanket.
I thought it was like a huge fur like coat.
My
I was
meat.
like, dang, that is sick. I need a blanket now. I'm cold. It's cold outside.
All right.
So
We asked if vigils take prisoners, right?
yeah, and I just gave Alia some information.
And I guess in what kind of manner do you say take prisoners?
Like, if we find these guys and we bring them back, well, do they have a place to put them? Do they hold them for a long time, or do they all eventually get executed? Do they carry out jail sentences?
Normally, the vigils, with exception of like I guess maybe rare case, because so in all reality, I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure if something like that exists in Oshto. I've personally never seen a vigil bring somebody evil or something like somebody like these guys to the lighthouse. Normally they get turned over to the authorities of those they've wronged. So, I mean, maybe in this aspect, we get the information we need and we can bring them back to the Dryads. And let the Dryads perform their justice and judgment. But
Have fun apart. That's just basically doing the same thing,
With extra steps.
just with extra. Yeah.
But it does
And-
fall closer in line with what I'm comfortable doing as a vigil.
to be honest, it'll probably be a lot worse of a death if we bring them back here.
Honestly, why are we even going after these people in the first place?
Aaron, pay attention.
Children.
Anna, it's the job of this vigil job was that.
No, the vigil job was to clear out the house, which there's no more house.
Fair.
This is the next piece of the puzzle.
But what do we know about them? I'm gonna be honest. The last I haven't really been here the last little bit. If that makes sense, I don't know how to explain it. But I'm here now. After this long walk.
Yeah.
Still been.
Not like Pinky's question. Where you been? I don't know if you heard that. I didn't mention it because it's funny.
I do know that they are part of an organization that does bad stuff. And I'm here to stop bad stuff. Especially when it comes to kids. Got somebody I gotta save.
And they're taking kids. We know that for a fact.
Yeah. Jim,
They-
I didn't expect him to actually answer me, but he said that yes, he was taking kids. And that's why they had the little dryad girl. They're bad people.
Good enough for me. Let's kill him.
So this might be a little awkward for you guys. When we do that killing, I'm probably going to step away for personal reasons.
I'm going to step away for religious reasons.
Dance on fire.
So I can't. It's hard to explain, but I don't want their souls. So
What?
let's go, and I'll explain things later on. But yeah, let's go.
I'm also opposed. I would withdraw for ethical reasons.
It's fine. I can get my hands dirty. I've done it before.
Oh, I know. Well, so this has not resulted in any conclusion. So I'll just say we're on halfsies, a third of a decision.
Why don't we just maybe send Barren to go and make the agreement?
Oh yes, and I will. And then we have 3 no's. Yes, fine.
I mean, I'm down to kill
You
him.
can't talk to them.
Oh,
yes, you can. You eavesdropped.
Are you gonna go talk to him?
Hey,
We'll make
tree
the
people.
Piggy will translate.
We'll kill him.
Okay, that's all we needed. Shall we go to Snow Blanket then?
Sure.
Amen.
We didn't tell him how we do it.
Pinky
Kill him
points
with-
hideous laughter. Ah, you're killing me! Ah, you're killing me!
Hey, kill me, small.
I'm literally dead. Yes, animate dead. I'm still literally dead.
Yeah, we killed those guys.
You just played basketball and just trashed them.
You're slaughtered.
You can have it. As you guys continue forward, you head towards the tree, towards the home of Snow Blanket. At this time, you can see it's kind of. You didn't notice it too much before, but it's a cottonwood tree, and so you can see as you get closer and closer to the tree, a lot of the area around the tree itself has kind of that cottony fluffs, as it's still kind of like that late springtime. Think of it in our world, it's like May time. So as soon as you get up to that tree, there's a good amount, almost kind of like you would say snow around the tree. As you all approach, the dryads will say, "All right, we're here." The tree again, it's massive. It's almost once you're actually up to it, the trunk probably would take about 4 of you to actually reach around and touch on the other sides. It's a big tree. Acorn turns to you all and says, "All right, we're here. It's polite to introduce yourselves."
Pinky's going to act like she's gonna stick out her hand out of reflex, and then she's gonna put it down because trees don't shake hands, I guess. My name is Pinky, and these are my companions. And she's gonna. This is Barren and Opal and Adelaide and Alia and Moss and Red. And we were hoping we could get your help.
For about 5 seconds, you sit there, kind of waiting. It's gonna happen. Nothing happens.
Opal will ask Acorn, is there a special introduction that we need to do? Were we supposed to bring gifts?
Say, I don't know, but I don't think you offended him. It seemed like a viable introduction.
It's still middle of the night, right?
Yes. As you kind of sit there, you hear the wind kind of shuffle through the branches. Someone with maybe a high nature, or high nature. I would like you to roll. Probably either Ren or Moss.
I'll roll unless Moss wants to roll. I mean, Ren, you can roll.
You both
I
can
got
roll,
my
actually.
character sheet up right now.
Anyone
Okay.
can roll,
So
except
Moss,
those that I didn't name. You can.
Moss rolled a critical 1.
It's kind of getting awkward. I hear you like.
Ren's roll.
And now's my time to shine.
What is
7.
7?
Sounds
Just
like we
wait.
just wasted 2 hours.
Well,
Can Pinky roll? She's got a little bit of experience with dryads.
Sure.
maybe he was stuck in the bathroom.
That is a 12.
12. So
Yes.
as you listen to the wind that's blowing through the trees, branches, you realize that there's kind of a pattern to it. It's like a and you realize it's snoring.
She's gonna turn to the other dryads and she's gonna say, she's gonna kind of whisper this. He's asleep. Should we? Is it rude to wake him up?
Oh. I mean, is it rude to wake up people in your culture?
Sometimes it's dangerous.
Kind of. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe try knocking.
With that, Pinky's gonna go right up to him and knock lightly on his trunk. Hello, Mr. Oak Tree.
For a second there, it's hard to tell whether it's like the wind moving the tree, but as it kind of twists and stuff, you see the lines in the tree itself contort into what looks more to be a face right there in the middle of the trunk of the tree, as it kind of one eye cracks open and the large mouth opens up, almost as if going straight to the heartwood of this tree, looking in, big yawn. Oh. 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 What the? Oh. Is that? And he kind of like looks at you like he's really got bad eyesight. Like an old man would look at like somebody like, oh, you, what? Whoa. Who dare wake me from my slumber? No. But who is there?
Pinky's going to enthusiastically wave and say, "Hi, I'm Pinky, and these are my friends." And she's going to name all the friends again. And we were told by these other wonderful dryads that you might be able to help us.
As he kind of gets a little bit of a better look at you as his eyes focus in, I imagine like you're like right here close to his nose, and
Yep.
he's like cross-eyed looking down at you. He's like, oh, little fairy, I'm no dryad. I'm a treant. As he stands up, kind of stretches. You can see the two large main branches coming out and kind of bend down, as you can see what look to be almost shoulders, as he kind of puts an arm, one of the branches touching the ground, and like leans down onto it like this.
I will have to say, I thought you said treat, and I thought you were describing him flexing. Like,
I'm a snack. as he reaches down one of the branches and he finds an apple on it. Ooh.
Well, forgive me for.
He's a little flirtatious.
Well, forgive me for Miss. I don't want to say Miss Racing, like misgendering, but sorry for my mistake. Can you still help us anyway? And she's gonna like make a cute little face and like bat her eyelashes.
I imagine like the way this tree looks like. I mean, his name is Snow Blanket. I kind of imagine him looking kind of like Santa Claus. Maybe it's just the time of year, but like think of Santa Claus but in tree form.
I'm down with that.
no, with a guy.
No, you like think about like you can only see him like from here out of the like torso out. You can't really see what's going on down below. But like you can see that he's got kind of control of limbs for hands, I guess, and arms. He says, little fairy, I've rested a long time on top of this hill. I don't necessarily plan to move.
Well, we were told that your roots go deeper than anyone else's, and we are looking for a particular tunnel and where it might let out, because there are some bad guys that we're trying to catch, and they escaped through a tunnel.
If you know where the tunnel is, why not just dig down to it? You may not grow roots, but I've seen humans burrow into the ground before. They do it all the time around me, as he kind of points out to the fields. They're always digging the place up. Every season, it's crazy how often they do it.
Oh,
See,
here's
here's
that
the
smacker
thing.
face. Like, why didn't I think of that? Why don't we dig?
Well, here's the thing: is the entrance to the tunnel, was inside a house, and the house is burning up right now, and it's probably burned to the ground. So
Oh,
it
terrible
wouldn't be
thing.
safe.
I won't wish that fate on my worst enemy. That's awful. Oh,
Yeah, really
On
rough.
fire, as you can't like think of like an earthquake happening right under your feet, but you can tell it's just the tree shivering, like he's uncomfortable with the thought of fire. He's like,
Yeah. So you understand. We don't want to go near that. So can you help us?
mayhaps. Though it would be incorrect of me to warn you that others have traveled to me asking for assistance, and I've turned them back. It really
Well, why
does
would-
come down to whether or not I deem it a necessity. And he'll turn to Acorn and the Dryads. I've seen that you've left the Great Wood to bring these adventurers out to me. You must think that this is a very noble cause. Acorn will look up to him and say, I do believe that this is the correct course of action, and I know that your assistance would be very much appreciated. He'll kind of turn back to the rest of you and say, well, why is this so important?
These people, guys, have taken our stealing children, the young ones of all races, of all kinds, and we don't know what they're doing with them. And whatever they're doing with them, it's really bad. And I have someone in particular that I need to find who has been taken by these people. Someone in my family, and it can't go on anymore.
And you're positive these are the people that took your family?
Yes,
we
spoke to one of the guys. He unfortunately escaped, but before he did, he told us that they were the organization taking children. In fact, they took was the name Walnut?
Chestnut.
Was it Hazelnut?
Chestnut.
Chestnut. Totally wrong. In fact, they took little Chestnut over there, and we saved her from these people. So that is proof.
Well, that is proof. I know that there are many types of fairies, and I've never seen your type from here. You say that they took one of your family members, but looking at you, not to be abrasive, but I can tell you're not from this neck of the woods.
Yeah.
As he says that, he's like, ha, woods, as he kind of rubs his giant trunk neck. How are you so sure their roots span that far to wherever you're from?
Because there are reports from all over of kids getting kidnapped. And this is a big organization, the guy made it seem. And the family member they took isn't like me. You see, it's from my I don't want to call it an adopted family because they're more of a family than my family is. But yeah.
Fair enough. Little fairy, I understand your plight. And I understand that you desire nothing more than to get your family back. This seems like a cause that will nurture growth inside of you. But how can I be so sure that that's the same story for your compatriots?
Is it?
May I hear from one of them? As he kind of turns to the rest of you.
Pinky is going to make a snap judgment, and she's going to point to Opal and Adilaide and motion them forward. And she will be a translator for Adilaide. Is Adilaide not currently at the table?
She's right here.
Oh, yes, she is. I just couldn't see her. Okay. Because I feel like those guys are the ones that are gonna be the most productive in persuading this this tree.
Wow.
It does kind of
Wow.
make him a little bit suspicious that you're choosing. You're like,
He's like,
He's like,
from that
I want
one.
to hear from the group. All right, these two, come here. She's a little biased.
Stay back.
Yeah,
What?
I imagine like Baron's kind of like, all right, and then he's like,
Well, Pussy Bear doesn't know what's going on. He can't understand any of this. So like,
Yeah, it's true. We have no idea.
yeah, Baron understands this conversation that's still happening in Sylvan.
wait, what?
Baron,
He
Did you say
secretly
Barry?
knows.
he knows Sylvan.
Oh,
Not secretly. He like you've seen him speak it.
He's-
The last.
It's the type
Have
of
we?
thing that's like you didn't ask. Like,
oh, I thought okay. I mean,
Wait.
if Baron wants to
Baron
come
knows
forward,
someone?
I can't
Baron
stop him
wants to do
physically.
some talking.
well, who's going? I
Well-
mean, I can translate. I'll just say Opal said that. Yes.
Does Pinky recognize that he's acting a little bit suspicious? Like he's a little bit
Honestly,
suspicious of us
Barry-
now?
Does he have kind of like a beard?
He's not like Treebeard, because that would be stealing an idea.
Beardy like doesn't have a beard.
It was super complicated.
Tree was like, what?
No, I think described him looking kind of like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I don't know if I imagine him having like a full like beard, but kind of like the way the wood curves.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like he might have the impression of a beard. It's impressionistic, okay? It's coming in still. Don't bother him about it. He's old.
Okay. Very beardy.
Anyways.
Look, we're just trying to save some people, all right?
Get off my
If you're not gonna help us, then we've wasted a few hours coming out here to try and talk to you, and now we have to backtrack and try and go through a different entrance if we can find it again.
That's fair. It would be a shame, but at least you had a good walk through the evening. Isn't that correct? Or was it not to your liking?
Could have been better.
At least you're honest. I
Good tree.
now
Making a decision. Could I perhaps place in your mind the tenderness of this situation being as they are children? They're helpless, they're the beginning of life. They don't have the means to protect themselves. They don't have the means to even know how to seek for help. These aren't just people that we're trying to save. This is a terrifyingly the threatening situation is they've taken children from all walks of life, just as Pinky has mentioned, and seems from every social class and from every every area and category that you could think of. This isn't just one particular group that we're hoping to rescue here. This is children in general, and hoping that that as you are a part of nature and a part of life, and as seen far more than I have, the fact that these are the beginning of life, I hope would tempt you to add your concern to our venture here.
Did you catch any of that?
No. What language are you speaking in?
So,
I'm translating.
You go on this beautiful rant, and the beard says like the fetch is going on.
No, there
That's
are
clear.
translators here.
But
Sorry.
Opal would add at the end that, as my comrade has spoken, and from what my previous one, Barren, has said, I would like to add that Barren also cares for children in a different sense as he cares for his sister. As
Ooh.
no, come on, no.
It just sounded weird. The way you put it sounded weird.
It's the best I do at D&D.
this is traditional.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, you get the point. As he cares for his own family, and so the passion is still the same. As he wants to protect his family, and part of that can be protecting his sister, who is younger, who is a child. So his motivations can be along the lines mutual with what has been stated by Pinky and Adelaide. I also support that as well by explaining my purpose is to protect this world, and children are part of this world, so I'm here to do that.
That's understandable. And I do see you seem to be coming from a good intentioned place. Though I do have one question for you that has been pressing on my mind ever since I awoke to your presence. It's quite surprising that the smell doesn't bother you, but may I ask, what do you have business with the Deathwalker in your presence? And he'll gesture towards Moss.
What?
Yeah, he
The
freaking
little-
reeks.
The little,
I know, right?
you talk to him.
Tell us what the
I
Deathwalker is.
What? Yeah, what's a Deathwalker?
Be like,
Guys, I shower at least once a week. It's a little hard to reach some areas without some assistance, but I shower.
Chase,
Yes.
would Alia, with the studies you've done in the Vigil library about monsters, would she know what a Deathwalker is?
No, because she wouldn't understand.
Do you?
Well,
the
everybody
Deathwalker-
would have just announced Deathwalker. What? What's a Deathwalker?
We're communicating in Sylvan, though. We would
Yeah,
say it
so-
in Sylvan.
Oh, I thought you guys had like
It's a
said it out loud.
It's a Sylvan word that means Deathwalker.
Okay. I thought they were like, wait, what? Like they would have been like,
This
wait,
is all
what?
Sylvan,
Looked at
which is
Moss
really
and been like,
fun.
Deathwalker.
All of us just kind of nonchalantly look at Moss, and Moss is just like, what?
Moss, though I would give you, as he says that, he would turn to you and speak to you in Druidic, and he'd say, "You're a Deathwalker, aren't you not?"
Why, some might say I'm a Deathwalker. I would call myself one who has cheated the walk of death.
how is he talking? Are you talking English, Mr. Treant?
We were speaking in Druidic.
Okay, switching. Okay, I don't know that. And
Interesting. There are many who would feel the exact opposite of you if they were put into your position, from my understanding of humanoid kind.
It's 100% fair. I would ask, though, Great Wise Tree, that my condition that I'm in right now could be upsetting to some, so I'd prefer if we did not upset everyone in this group right now.
Understandable. Though, keeping secrets may lead to deeper wounds later on. Just
You
some
know,
wisdom from the old tree.
Fair point. Fair point. I do not disagree.
You gonna tell us what a Deathwalker is or not?
You know, druidic.
No, no, because he just switched language and was talking to him, and then now I'm just like,
Yeah, like what's going on? Because he's actually
This Moss will respond to Barren.
well, he was speaking in Sylvan.
Oh,
Baron's in Sylvan.
yeah, never mind. Moss is like, the fetch you say it.
And I don't know. I don't think you've ever heard the term Deathwalker before. I think that would be a new term for you. But like having you say that, the Great Tree would say, I fear that with you being here would be detrimental to other people. It would be best for you to return to your own kind. You know, before things escalate. But, alas, it will not be the mess that I may need to clean up. So, who am I to tell you what to do? He'll turn back to the rest of the party and say, he's explained his reasoning enough to me.
what?
He has asked me to let his story be his own.
At this point, Pinky has probably gone up to Moss and she's probably sniffing him because you mentioned, do you not smell? I was trying to pick up on what.
Make a perception check.
Oh, okay. That's a 5.
Question for you, Moss. You remember what happened to you last time you were at the lighthouse?
Yeah, I remember.
Have you been hiding it?
Yes.
What?
He doesn't reek, Pinky. He just has like some earthy tones. Maybe a little bit. Maybe like, I mean, he's an old guy. He probably has a little bit of BO, but not like anything abnormally. He doesn't smell like a dead body. That's for sure.
Okay.
So,
She's gonna still like look him in the eye and just, I don't know. From what the tree said, she's gathered that Moss isn't gonna tell her, so she's gonna try and riddle it out herself. She's just gonna stare at him while things continue going on.
yeah.
Moss
It's
is
like,
gonna be like,
the tree would say, after saying what he originally said with like, is not my thing to tell, but do be warned, maybe be careful with whom you take company in.
So you're not gonna move for us, but could you at least like, I don't know, you've been here a long time.
Never said I wouldn't move for you.
That's the impression that you gave us.
I just may not travel with you.
Honestly, if you can just point us where the tunnel is, maybe open up a opening in it. I don't know.
Well,
Tell us where it leads to.
luckily for you, I happen to know of such a tunnel that you are speaking of. Give me a few minutes. As he kind of shifts and moves, you see him kind of stand up, pulling out his rooted legs out of the ground. A tree that's already very formidable in height, now actually standing up, moving, even more impressive. You see as he kind of starts standing up, the bird nests and the different creatures roosting inside him start like shaking and stuff like that. The birds fly. He's like, having been groomed in a while, and then he'll stand up. In the crater left by him, you see towards the bottom what looks to be a hole at the bottom of the crater that he would have upheaved and made. Underneath this valley runs an underground river. For many years, I've been using it as my lifeblood for my drinking water, and it's quite pure and clean. But over the past couple of seasons, I've noticed the taste of human more in it. I think you might find what you're looking for maybe down there. I don't know of any other subterranean caves in this area. And he kind of like gestures, like, here we go.
Pinky is gonna jump right in.
Do you jump in the water?
Pinky's going. Pinky's moving.
Yeah.
Go for it, Pinky.
Pinky, you fall into the water.
Well, this was pretty convenient, and Barren will jump in.
And as you fall, it's probably about a 30-foot fall from the ceiling of the cavern right here, down into the bottom, into a slow, methodical running river underneath this area. If you ever get the opportunity, I would ask you maybe to ask the people upstream to stop damming the river and pumping it up into that reservoir of theirs. It's quite annoying. Hasn't been nearly as fresh ever since.
She's gonna give him a little salute and then head on down the river. I don't know who's following her, but
Opal would just say before. We will, and thank you for your help and your willingness to listen to us.
The Acorn to you, Alia. He'll not. Just so I didn't want to make you feel like I was like ignored. Yeah. It says, thank you. To you, Alia, Acorn will turn and say, don't forget your promise.
To who?
Me.
To Acorn. It wasn't Alia that promised. It was Barren. Alia doesn't speak Sylvan.
Oh yeah. Barren, before you jump in,
Barren's already down. Sorry, she missed it.
I think
She would have turned to Opal and anyone still up there and say, don't forget your promise.
Opal will also do the salute thing and
And did Opal jump in?
yes, Opal's on her way.
Does anybody know why we're jumping in this hole?
Oh my god!
Oh yeah! Oh, I just watching you guys dip, and we're like,
Yeah, is anyone left behind that can speak Sylvan?
No.
no!
I think the trees are just staring at us and we're like,
Yeah, we're like,
They're all like,
twiddling our thumbs, like,
come on, get in the hole. They're like opening.
Must have been something what the leaves said.
You know, like when you have like a language barrier and you're like trying to communicate, so you're like gesturing, like all the dryads are like. Even the tree is like. But to you, probably just like the wind is blowing. Yeah.
Yeah, like
So funny.
Oh, it's awesome. Man, fantasy language. What a great thing.
I guess that's one way to split the party.
Yeah. You may be in person together. Even in game, you may be together. But when there's a language barrier, you might as well be different parties. They're gonna eat them. Don't go into the hole. That's a good line. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, does everyone jump in the hole? That's the question.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Alia would be so confused.
Moss would just look at Alia and be like, "Let's go."
Are we Are we sure?
If we die together.
Yeah.
I mean, are we gonna
Do you
even be
want
able
to
to breathe down there?
Dryads in the tree that you can't communicate to, or do you want to get in the hole?
If the entire next arc of the
It's just
It's just trying to find him.
Alia and Moss not there. That's wild.
Like, what's going through Alia's brain is it's like, all right, we're jumping into this like underground river. Is there air? And so that's what like.
Does it Alia need air?
Do you need air?
I'm not a robot.
Exactly.
I mean, you guys don't even know that she's a robot yet. And Alia doesn't even know if she needs air.
Yeah.
we kind of
This is really new for her.
It's time to
She
find out.
doesn't know what operating hardware she has.
Is jumping in water bad? Like,
the gears rushed over.
Yeah. Well, all the trees are like, what's wrong with water? It's super good.
Does the big tree start
How's
sitting
Alia
down?
a baby?
Like, he's like confused, like he's waiting, but it's getting to that point where he's getting a little impatient. He's like, come on, guys, I moved my like perfect sitting spot. I've been perfecting my like butt cushion for the last millennium, and you had me move one night during my sleep, and you're not getting in the hole.
so who's all jumped in?
Everyone
Except you two.
It's like the Midwest goodbye. Like, what? Guess I'll be seeing you.
Are we going, Moss? I guess.
Look, when a hole opens. Yes, let's go.
All right. Okay.
Let's go. Moss will grab Alia's hand, like reach up, and just jump.
Yeah. As you both take the plunge, we're gonna go to break right there.
Break time.
Break time.
David needs
Wait.
a bit of beating up. Oh wait,
Beat that.
what's that? I'm not beating up my baby. He just needs a little bit of a wrestle because he's got some wiggles.
All right, I think we're back now. We're in, as each and every one of you takes the dive and jumps in. Find the water to be cold, but quite refreshing. It's not like it's frigid. It's an underground river, but, you know, it is what it is.
There's probably no lights down here, huh?
Nope.
Except for
As-
these, like, magic ball that just...
Yeah. As well as your magic torches. They still work.
Big magic, yeah. Real quick.
Other than the light that you all can provide, you don't see any other light. And as soon as most all of you have been in here, some of you start to kind of drift down.
Some are way
The-
ahead.
The snow blanket will say, "Well, it's good to meet you," and he'll kind of turn around and sit down on the hole again. And you see like one of his legs just sticks into the hole.
Uh-oh. Oops. Sorry.
We are not getting paid for that.
What?
Anyways, so where was I before the TV so rudely interrupted me? Yeah, he sticks one leg, like you see one leg slip down into the hole, kind of like he's sitting kind of like this, and stuff like that, and like you see like the foot portion of his like tree trunk touches the water. We assume it's just how he gets his drink through his foot. But when his feet does hit the water, the night sky above you goes. It's unable to be seen because his rump, his butt, is in the way. Same with his leg. It's mostly his leg that fits in the hole.
Big friend.
Anyway, that is what you see as you are all kind of floating. You notice that the water in here is completely still, but it does still have a flow. It's not like it's, I guess it's not necessarily completely still, but it's not like you would think like it's not a raging river, and it's not like super bumpy, but it's not flat, as you can feel that there's a flow to it. The cavern walls around you, for the most part, like you may think of like a underground river being something kind of like just a tunnel with water in it. It's not necessarily like that. It's more of a cave with stalactites, stalagmites throughout it, but it's flooded most of the way up. There's some places where the roof, kind of like where Snowflake was, where the roof is higher, up to 30 feet. There's some places where it gets down to 10, maybe 5. There's a couple places where to go from cavern to cavern, you may have to be really close to the top. From what you tell, most of the way through is not off the air. Which is a good sign. Thus far. As a lot of light touches the water, it doesn't seem to be doing anything adversely bad to you right now. But only time will tell. You could make an investigation check if you'd like to, or I would make an insight check. Either one of those.
Prefer investigation or insight?
Is it the same?
It is not. I don't know.
You'll just get different information. Whenever you choose. So, whichever information.
I did insight. I got a 19.
Insight, probably a good choice. You can, thinking about it and thinking about like the difference before you die, what happened to you and after. It wasn't necessarily like your body beforehand wasn't like this. It was just some other systems were online. So you'd assume that for the most part, you should behave relatively similar. Hopefully when exposed to water. That's kind of insight that you feel is going to be like, if I didn't beforehand, I don't know if what would cause me right now. But maybe one of those systems where, you know, the anti-water prevention thing. So.
Are we just floating? Is there any place to get out of the water, or is it not yet? We're just at the mercy of the river.
You're at the mercy of the river. What are y'all doing to stay afloat? Since most of you are wearing armor and are quite heavy. For those that are wearing armor, it's going to be very difficult to stay floating. There's some points in the river that is probably low enough that you can touch the bottom, but mind you, every time you have to stop and rest is another moment that the people that are ahead of you gain, and they've already had a good amount of a lead.
Who was it? Me and Pinky that jumped way ahead.
Yeah. So here's the question: what are you all doing to try to make up for lost time and try not to drown in the exorbitant amount of items that you have? Pablo's doing fairly all right. I imagine that the backpack itself isn't that heavy because it's just, you don't feel the weight of the stuff inside of it. And he doesn't wear armor anyways, so while he probably can't swim forever, he is pretty strong. He's got broad shoulders, so he probably could go for a little while.
Opal's gonna tie the rope around Pablo.
So you gotta like lasso him?
Yes.
Okay, make a lasso check.
Lasso is 16 plus whatever you will let me add.
I imagine it taking maybe once or twice, but you're able to lasso Pablo.
Okay, round.
So fun apart.
You're doing.
As you get,
Oh.
he's kind of like almost like a buoy. I imagine like the backpack, since it's kind of an extra dimensional space, it might flow a little bit better than, you know.
Isn't he just pure muscle though?
He is.
Muscle sinks.
You sink. Must be made of muscle. He's got big lungs. You breathe in air, you lay on your back, you float. He put the backpack on front. It's like a life jacket, and so now it keeps him up.
And now he has Opal pulling you.
Yeah, but the problem is you're on the bottom of the river, and you're pulling him. I think you're just pulling him down. He's like... So... No, you're just... It's like when someone's drowning.
Yeah, you don't.
And you
grab
climb
onto
onto someone who's trying to save you, and then you both end up drowning.
Could I?
Oh, do I have this?
So, as of right now, the three people that I'm most concerned with is Opal, Adilaide, and Alia for how you're going to stay afloat. The rest of you can swim fairly well in your condition, but that also means you're going to have to swim, which is exhausting.
I'm assuming
Except for
that
Ren.
most of the time, Pinky will just be able to fly above the water.
The problem is, Pinky, you've jumped into the water. I talked about how some of those spaces get to the point where like you only have a few inches above the water. Now, this is a question that we need to have. How easy is it for you to fly once your wings are wet? What?
I have no idea.
She's magic.
I'm assuming, yeah, because my wings are the things that really keep me up, right? Right?
Say that
I don't
again.
know.
And this isn't just a question, like, it's not something that we've confirmed because I don't think anything really like this has ever happened because you always just do fly over water.
Right.
But
She went on an adventure with Moss.
yeah, she went on an adventure with Moss, but she was also like half dead when that. She
Yeah.
never really fly.
She was like dead.
So how I picture fairies
Because it will make you
Fairies
light.
don't normally, like, it's not actually the wings that make them fly. Like, all renditions of fairies, like, they just kind of float and their wings just kind of flap. I don't know if you want that to be how it is, or
That's
if you
fair.
want it to actually be like that, because, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense, because my wings would have to be fluttering ultra fast at all times for me to fly if they were actually the thing keeping me up.
Yeah,
Like a little hummingbird.
and that's a great point. I guess for me, I always pictured it as like the wings were less
Like a dragonfly.
yeah, more like kind of like that style where like it's your wings that are actually keeping you up, kind of like
Okay.
But I'm fine with the magic interpretation. It's just like something to keep in mind.
Yeah. I'll let you rule it how you rule it. You're the DM, and I'm happy to have you.
I'm just asking, do you? Yeah, I was just leaving it as a. I'm being. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't want you to not like your character, but I don't want like every like problem to be solved by the hammer. If that makes sense. So that's why I'm thinking about making it a little bit more tricky than just I can just always fly no matter what.
Right. And I totally understand that. And I will not hate Pinky either way.
Yeah.
This is I'm really just like, this is up to you. Like, I will make it work whichever way you choose. And I will have fun doing it.
Yeah, I'd say that you can flutter, but I think the constant sloshing back and forth, I think would be hard on your wings. And I imagine that's kind of where the magic of flying for you resides. And so that might be what.
And you said that this is a slow river, right?
This is a slow river. So.
Okay, so. In conclusion, as she is swimming, she may not be quite as exhausted as everyone else, but it's still going to be exhausting for her. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She'll make the same. She'll make the same choices.
Okay.
And yeah, you can float on your back for those that don't have armor.
I have really light armor.
I mean, like heavy armor.
Oh,
the three that I pointed out.
Just gonna float on my back and just. Hey, Pinky.
Yeah?
Did you know if the rest made it down here? I don't see any lights behind us.
And Pinky's gonna hold up her little coin light thing, and she's gonna look behind, and I don't know, can she see anybody?
How far ahead are me and Pinky? Because we definitely jumped in.
I wouldn't say like you're crazy far ahead. Like it was, like that conversation we had while it took in real world a while. It probably took, I don't know, like a minute or two before like we got Moss and Alia convinced to jump in.
A minute in a lazy river though is a ways away.
Yeah, but a lazy river doesn't go super fast, so it's not like you had tons of time to get ahead. So, but I need to know what Opal, Adilaide, and Alia are doing, because if you're doing nothing, I need to know that.
I'm gonna break out my prayer book again and use it as a floaty.
Prayer book? Okay. All right. How floaty is your prayer book?
Very little.
Very little? Like you're on it, it's kind of like a boogie board, or whatever those are. It's working a little bit better than nothing, but
What spells do you have?
Oh, I know. I'm gonna break out the bag of commands because it says I still have it unless we did something that I don't remember. And I'm gonna command the water to do something.
which command are you using?
I don't know. I'm gonna pull one out.
Oh!
No.
While these scrolls are magical, they're not able to control water. They control skeletons and stuff.
You packed a raft. Like, you feel like Adelaide would have packed a raft, but I know that she wouldn't have packed a raft. What she packed that floats? Hat boxes?
Hat boxes aren't a bad choice.
But they're all with Pablo.
Oh, and where is he? Is he close?
Opal has tied him up.
Okay,
So
he's the
if you can get to
biggest one.
Opal, you can probably deal with that. Alia, what are you up to?
I don't know, dude. I don't have anything.
These are the problems with playing D.
I'm out of spell slots. Like, and I don't have anything.
Is that gonna?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You do have the fridge, the bag of fridging.
Yeah, but what is that's not gonna float. It's full.
Yeah, that's gonna.
Yeah, it honestly isn't like a bag of holding. It's not extra dimensional space. It literally just keeps its contents cold. I guess ice floats. Maybe frozen meat does too. Probably not.
Okay, hat boxes. I would like to swim and pull out 3 hat boxes
Okay.
from the bag.
All right, I
I'm
need you to do some sort of check, hat box check.
Box check.
Hat box check.
13.
13, okay. You're able to procure 3 hat boxes, though you do know if you are going to use these hat boxes as flotation
The hats
devices,
need to be out of the hat boxes.
how are you going to get the hats out of the hat boxes in water and not get the hats wet? Because it would ruin.
I put the hat boxes back in the bag.
I need
Adelaide
you 3 to
dragons.
make Constitution saving throws.
5.
I got a 22.
Oh, you're doing pretty good. You're thinking that might be your make or your model. It doesn't need as much air.
It's a good thing you can hold your breath for a certain amount of time.
You two.
No, I'm going to put my cape, like when your shorts bubble up in water. I'm gonna make a floaty device with my cape.
Ooh.
That's not a bad idea. Make an ingenuity check.
Ingenuity check.
Just like straight intelligence.
It's the Boy Scout check.
12. Yeah, seeming to help, but you did have to make the trek beforehand. I would like you both.
Oh,
I want Opal and Adelaide, you two, to roll initiative.
We're going to battle this.
Because you both are starting to get to the point where you're going to drown. So we're going to go in the round. The way water combat works is for like holding your breath and stuff like that is you can hold your breath a number of minutes equal to your Constitution modifier. So if you have a +2 to Constitution, you can hold your breath for 2 minutes. After that, you start drowning, and you pass out after the same amount of rounds as your Constitution modifier.
Oh, is that how that works? Yep. Didn't know that part. Very nice.
So, yeah, you don't necessarily straight up die after the 2 minutes, but I imagine you've both are to the part where I think you both have what, +2 Constitutions?
Yeah.
You've been taking up on enough water for the past couple of minutes. I'd say you're to the point that if you don't manage this in the next 2 rounds, you are going to drown. At least pass out from lack of oxygen. Your lungs are burning. It's getting bad.
Oui.
Can I try to take off my armor? Or is that going to be very difficult?
So donning and doffing armor in D&D takes 10
I'll
minutes.
just be dead.
Just so you know, like you could do that. It would mean that you could even try cut it off quicker. Like if you were cutting straps, that'd mean that you'd probably lose your armor though.
I mean, that's fine by me, but
Yeah, daddy's money.
yeah, I don't know about Opal. That might.
I mean, if we get in combat, then we have no armor.
That is true.
But
But
that
you'll
is an
be
option.
alive.
What'd y'all roll for your
13.
13? Opal, what'd you get?
Well,
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Adelaide, you'll go first. Opal, you'll go right after that. At the end of both of your turns, then your ticker will go up. Just remember, since your Constitution modifiers right are both +2, you only have 2 rounds before you drop.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reading through my spells one more time. I gotta see if there's a way to help us. Okay, so what do I do? Bye. I don't know what I can do.
You have an action, your bonus action. What actions can you do to? You have a Pablo right next to you.
Okay. Oh man, I can't even. I was thinking I could pray to the what's his name, but I don't even have that yet because I'm not to level
10.
Oh, shit.
I mean, you still could.
Ray of sickness.
Oh, we can have our wings and use them as extra power behind us. We can turn into angels. I'm to an angel.
Okay. Use that. All right. Perfect.
beat up my death and turn into an angel.
We can do the things. We can use it.
You're like a swan.
She's like,
magical.
she's like, Opal! My wings! Please, push the water. That'd be so sad if then we did it and it was like
Drop the wings. The good thing is the wings are ethereal, I think.
Yeah, so they're made out of water resistant. No, I'm just kidding.
Water resistant. Teflon coated.
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Hypoallergenic.
Hypoallergenic. Yeah, these wings, unlike Pinky's, like we were talking about, where hers are like actual corporeal wings. These are incorporeal, so they're kind of like ghost wings, but they do give you a flying speed.
So can we flying speed us with power?
Yeah, like it would get you out of the water.
It would get us out of the water.
Yeah, it would.
All right. Adelaide will like go underneath the water. She's going to hold onto her holy symbol, and her eyes will start glowing like the Avatar style. Dun 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 dun. dun, dun. So and then she'll throw out her wings, and she'll just like look at Opal and be like, and then just like.
As you burst forth from the water, you're able to get your first real gasp of air as you kind of cough up all the water. It should look really cool because you're freaking like angelic right now, but it's also kind of like that one vine of gasping for air. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Adelaide?
I already put the hat boxes back safely, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so no, we're good.
Yeah.
Also, that was in front of everyone. She took the hat boxes out, saw and realized what she was doing, and put them back in the bag, closed it, and then proceeded to drown.
Opal, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Realizing that my command scrolls are doing nothing. Stop.
Fools. No, that's Pinky's.
Yeah. Opal glimpsing like through waves and crashing face and stuff, that burst of light and wings, like, oh yeah. Opal will do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just
Perfect. As you guys both burst forth from the
I
water.
would collect my prayer book and put in.
Let's shake it out. Good enough. As you both burst forth from the water, you're able to. We'll take this out of combat, but just as you both like go, and you look at each other. Mind you, the wings only last for a minute.
Yep.
So you bought yourself some time, but honestly, you guys need something else. And you see, like, Alia, she's doing all right, but she's also not doing all right.
Is this just underground river in a cave? Or are there things on the other sides of us, or is this like a chute?
It's like there's stalactites, stalagmites, like interspersed. Think about it's like a flooded cave with like most of the way up water.
Did Pablo? Is everyone like? Are we
Yeah.
keeping with the group, or have we kind of?
Yeah, you're kind of maybe getting a little bit towards the back.
See.
Can I dash and instruct Pablo because I'm still tied up next to one to grab Alia and just I'll pull him as far as I can. Then I have another idea.
Yeah, you can do that. Alia, Pablo's going to try to grapple you. Are you going to resist?
Is Alia even close to Pablo?
I imagine that those who are slower are more towards the back of the group at this point.
So you think like me and Moss and I have caught up to everybody else?
Yeah, I imagine so.
All right. Yeah, no, I don't think Alia would resist.
Okay. He swoops you up in his large, muscular arms. He goes, "Fun apart your heavy," and then
Pablo starts to drown.
Pablo starts to drown. And then Opal, putting like the rope over her shoulder, like heaves you all out of the water. Make a strength check for me as you try to pull them up to where they're not drowning.
I'm not pulling them out of the water. I'm pulling them.
You're just pulling them to where they can get, but
Yeah.
it is 2 people.
17.
17? Yeah, that's easy enough for you. You're able to get them to the point where they're not drowning either.
Wait, hold on. There's gotta be something.
Where are you going? She's done. She gave up. While this is going on, Moss, Ren, and Pinky, and Baron, I feel like you've all kind of gotten to the point where you're fairly close. If you all have any sort of conversation, you could at this moment, but you don't have to feel obligated to. Yeah, you can definitely yell to Ren.
Ren!
Yeah, and I'm like David Hasselhoff, SpongeBob movie, just like sailing.
He pops up like
like, sorry guys, I need to go back there.
jumping like a dolphin.
Like skipping off the top of the water.
I'm like, I'm like swimming circles around everyone.
Trying to look. You got me.
Yeah. I'm just gonna yell to him like,
No, I think you do know.
I'm gonna assume he knows how to swim and help others based on the description of swimming so well.
I mean, he did have SpongeBob and Patrick right on his butt. Back to beginning.
Yeah, someone is stabbing me in the butt like a big Bowie knife. It's pretty rough.
Ren, can you hold up Alia?
Yeah. I'll swerve back.
As you get there, you realize the predicament that these 3 have made for themselves as they've jumped into a hole while wearing heavy armor while the hole is filled with water. You've never worn heavy armor before, but it looks pretty heavy.
Yeah.
You know, like for swimming, it's usually best to not have too much more weight. And it's not really Alia's fault. She's just, surprised she's made out of metal for those who didn't know.
Yeah, what can you do?
I would like you to do a strength check, because it's still strength to kind of hold her up out of the water, but you can make it with advantage because of your proficiency in the water arts.
Awesome. My strength is not good.
Are you picking up Alia?
Just a straight strength check?
Yeah.
That's 8.
You
You
said
get back there. Yeah.
What was that?
You rolled it with advantage, right?
Yeah, I rolled a 6 on my other one.
Were you
You
saying
give me,
something, Alia?
give me double advantage if you want to.
I could. I don't know if I will.
I say if Alia looks like she's gonna be causing like anybody to like really struggle to keep themselves up, she'll just like voluntarily get back in the water.
That's so bad.
Well, have you tested if you can breathe underwater?
It's like
Or
the
do you need,
beam of
you know?
going under the water.
Aren't there I don't know if the mites or the tights are on the ground or on the ceiling. Can't you grab onto them?
Well, like the bottom's too deep for them to stand, but you could try climbing onto one of the stalactites that is not too far away. Like that's a possibility.
Just like holding on to it until you figure out. Sorry, metagaming. I should not be talking.
Yeah.
There's more to this environment than just water.
Oh, Alia, can you breathe underwater?
I have no idea. Alia doesn't know.
Alia, make either an Arcana or Nature check.
19.
19. Man, you've been rolling super good.
Yeah.
Was that an Arcana or Nature?
Arcana.
Arcana.
15 plus 4.
So, with an Arcana check, you think about it, and you might be able to, like, knowing what's going on inside of you, knowing that things might be able to be controlled, maybe there's a way to turn off aerobic oxygen intake. I don't know. As you kind of focus on it, you think that you might be able to not necessarily breathe underwater. Actually, with a 19, I'd say like you're able to get to the point where you can hold you're able to turn off some of those functions in your body to where you can breathe underwater. But on the reverse, since you have to turn off some systems going on internally, how would you feel about disadvantage on like any dexterity or strength saving throw or ability check?
For how long?
While you're focused on not breathing water, and maybe it takes like a minute to switch over. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. And this is something Alia's for sure she can do.
Yeah. Now that you're thinking about, you feel like it's not like you have like a voice inside your head or anything like that, but you know that your father's probably aware of your situation. So you feel like maybe with that awareness, you could preemptively switch these things.
How does like Opal and all of the other people, I guess, how do they look like they're faring?
Right now they're out of the water because they have wings, but I think it's important to remember an old adage that Gerland once said. Can't remember why he was talking about, but basically he was saying it's important to save yourself before you focus on saving others.
Wink, wink.
I guess, yeah, Alia will try.
Okay. After a minute of kind of getting that excruciating pain inside your chest, it's like weird. That system turns off, but now, like, you feel your movements are a lot more sluggish. Like, you're almost using up like conserved energy to be able to do this. You're not able to feel like you're doing as much work, though your mind faculties and stuff like that are still there.
So I have a quick question for you, Chase. This is just a. Does it feel like she's potentially using more energy now than she originally was? If that makes like, if you're thinking like battery life, even though like she's shutting down, a couple of systems, does it feel like it's taking more energy to?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's something that might be part of something that Alia is exploring as part of this new getup is she might have the ability to kind of change her characteristics as a person at the cost of maybe some personal, energy in a sense. Or like she might, like with this example, she gets good at not drowning in water, but she also doesn't do as well at, dodging and things like that. And strength-based stuff. So it's kind of a give and take with both of it.
Okay.
Anyways, so you're squared away. What's Adilaide and Opal and Ren doing?
How much light is there in here?
None.
Aren't the wings glowing?
Yeah, the wings glow, actually.
The wings glow, as well as I think Adilaide said she casts light on herself.
Okay. Can I see Alia at all?
Yeah, Alia, you see her on the bottom, and she's kind of like walking on the
Okay,
floor.
so she seems like she's doing fine.
Yeah.
Like after I see her sink, I'm like, ooh, and then I'm like, maybe she can breathe. I don't know. But then I see her just.
She's just like walking underneath the water.
Yeah. So I think I'll be like, okay. Who else needs help?
From what you can tell, at this point, their wings are starting to kind of fade. You think that the ability that Opal and Adelaide are using to keep themselves out of water might be getting to the point that it's not going to be working soon.
Okay. Then I will maybe just get ready to help them out when needed. Is there any like logs? I don't know. I mean, like maybe some like roots from Mr.
Yeah, that's not a
Snow
bad
Blanket?
idea. Maybe roots that have grown down here.
Something
You've
like I
grown-
want to like make like a makeshift like flotation device.
Make an investigation check.
14.
With a 14, it is a fairly deep and fairly rocky cave. You assume that's probably why it stayed here, and it's not gone away as the rock that it's made out of. You don't see anything as of yet that could be used to make a raft. Though it was a fairly hard check, as this is not usually a place that you'd find normal trees growing into.
Right. Okay. Then yeah, I guess I'll just stay tuned for one of them to fall or something.
Yeah.
And kind of just brace myself for that.
Can we hear them like splashing around behind us? Like this.
Yeah, you guys can go back there. It's not like this is like a monopoly on the time.
Right, and they're not super far back, right?
No, you guys are getting to the point where you're mostly around the same distance.
Hey, Moss. Do you have anything on that cloak of yours that could help out our companions?
You know, I really don't actually this time.
I just remember last time you and Pinky ran into some water, you had something, so I figured I'd ask.
Well, I helped get us into the water. Okay, Chase.
Yeah.
If I open a window to somewhere, can I drain all the water? That's not gonna work, but still.
I mean, you could try.
A window is another door of some kind. Could you create just like a door and everyone could just float on the door?
A window is the absence of a wall. Not necessarily a door.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have a door, that could maybe be a theoretical flotation device.
Yeah, Moss is sort of useless on this one.
Barren doesn't really have anything either.
Turns out the hardest thing for you guys to overcome is water.
We had a lot of problems with water. Like, first it was the river, then it was the sewers.
I'm just saying, I don't want to be a stickler about this, but like, you guys, I don't mean to make this such a challenge. I was just hoping that it will give it a little more interesting. But yeah, this is a problem.
How big are torches? And they're made out of wood, correct?
They are torches like
If you got
like that big.
And if everyone has 10 torches, that comes in their automatic like explorer pack. I mean, mine are itty bitty.
Yeah, we're all just floating.
But like, could we not like put
You,
the
like,
torches
mix
together
the
and make a raft?
And make. You probably can't make a raft, but you could probably
not
make
a raft, but like enough wood to help them float.
Pablo,
Opal.
listen. Take some of Adelaide's dresses out of her bag. Tie knots in the arms and in the top and get some air in it.
The hard thing is, at this point, he would look at Adelaide to see whether he was going to die from doing such or not. But Adelaide is upstairs right now.
Adelaide's underwater.
Adelaide's underwater right now, and he is nervous. That's a good point.
It's an old trick I learned. You do it with pants usually, but I think a dress will work.
The scout trick. Oh my gosh, yeah.
It is. You know the scout trick, right? You have to take off your pants. You tie holes or you tie knots in here,
like around your,
and then you get air in it, and then you tie it around yourself right here. And you're just kind of floating like this. It's not amazing, but it'll do. And when you need a little bit more air, you just fill it up a little bit.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say he can definitely try that, and he probably will, seeing that Adelaide's starting to drown. And Opal, you'll probably splash back into the water, just so you know. He would reach in, grab a dress, and grab another one, hand one to you, Ren, and say, "Have fun up our tie."
You got it. You got it, my guy.
Go ahead.
Okay, here's my intention. If I can get the attention of the tree man again and ask him to... Are we too far away for that?
Yeah, you float down the river by this point, so...
And do we not see anything else opening up in front of us? We're just floating?
Just floating.
Okay. Yeah. Once everyone's safe, Barren will relax a little bit. He's not really doing much, I guess, right now, but... Yeah, he doesn't have much.
What'd you get for your survival check for getting the dress as a flotation device?
Am I making that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. Survival, that is a 17.
17. Yeah. Great flotation device. You've never worn a dress, but you're thinking about it because, man, if you're stuck in the ocean, You could use this to survive.
I think a dress would work. Sorry, this is off topic, kind of, but I think a dress would work better than pants.
It's bigger.
It's bigger, so you
But-
could get more air, right?
You have that big knot on the one side, knots and sleeves, fill it up, and then you just have to like kind of roll that, that portion up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. Pablo rolled a 10, so his is not as good, but the two drowning compatriots will be fine.
I'll take off my pants.
It's okay.
No one asked you to do that.
I'll take off my pants and make one and toss it back there.
I want to say, if it comes down to it, Alia, if it's I guess shallow enough, Alia can try and support them from underneath. Yeah.
I think with the dresses, understanding some of those things going on, I think there's enough given to them that we can keep them afloat.
Okay.
Okay.
There is the challenge, though, now.
What Adelaide will do when she finds out.
Yes. I think right now she's too exhausted from drinking a lot of water. Drinking too much water, aka drowning, to tell. I was going to say the other problem is you are by no means going very fast through this tunnel. Are you going to go at this pace, or do you want to do anything to try to speed your movement?
So let's just go at this pace.
Moss is just taking a nap in the water.
Yeah, like Mott's is sort of just chilling. Like I know everyone else is shouting, but Mott's can't help, so it's like, oh, well, whatever.
Whatever.
Hey, Barren. Or Barren. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Barrett. Yeah.
What was that dead thing Beard guy was talking about?
What dead thing?
He called you a dead person.
Oh, dead
Said that it was your story to tell. So if you don't want to tell it right now, I get it. But
dead runner or something like that, right?
Deathwalker.
Nah, I think it's dead runner.
It's a Deathwalker.
Nah.
Hello,
it's a dead
PG.
runner. No, I'll tell you, Baron. I think it's just look, I've killed a lot of things in life, and so I think he was just referencing that. I've done some things I'm not proud of, you know.
Well, so have I. But he didn't call me that.
Yeah, but if you killed innocents,
yes.
Oh, Moss was not expecting that. Well, you're a pretty terrible person then, aren't you, Baron?
I never said I wasn't.
So, I don't know why he didn't call you one, but I've done some bad stuff, so that's why.
You stink.
Thank you, Pinky. I try to hate myself.
I could call an insight check on that, but I already have my own thoughts of that, so
Yeah.
I just don't feel like I need to know. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. That's where we're at. That's all right. Okay. You all mostly make your way down the underground lazy river at Lagoon. You think about, I don't know, it'd be nice to have a tube instead of a dress for flotation. But you would assume that you probably have a couple hours travel before you even catch up to them. Well, the travel to Snow Blanket was probably about like 2 hours. You know that whoever's in front of you probably has a lead on you.
Thus we wait.
So with that, we're probably going to finish up this session here. And next session will be going forward. If you're all good with that.
Yep.
Yep. 2-hour lead on us. Okay. We can catch
Yeah.
him.
We should have gone down the tunnel.
Yeah.
Anyway, dungeon house.
Dungeon house.
Dungeon.
Dungeon